Jesus Freak here, and this is a rare time that you're going to see me using a translation other than the King James, because this little piece of proof is kind of muddied by the King James choice of words. So I'm holding a New King James in my hand. Now, there have been people way into antiquity who've said, we have no idea who wrote the letter to Hebrews. And I think it's pretty obvious that Paul did. And I'm going to mention a couple places I can think of. This is going to be the most obvious one. You're probably familiar with 1 Corinthians 13:13, which says, "And now abide faith, hope, love, these three, but the greatest of these is love." Now, I'm going to go into Hebrews 10. As I said, I kind of need the New King James because of a poor word choice in the King James. But here we have it in Hebrews 10, starting from 22, where it says, "Let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. Let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, for he who promised is faithful. And let us consider one another in order to stir up love and good works." And it's just part of the sentence, but you see here you have the exact same sequence: faith, hope, and love. Another example is also in Hebrews 10, the reference to Deuteronomy 32:35, where the verse here reads, "For we know him who said, 'Vengeance is mine, I will repay,' says the Lord." It's not the only place that shows up in the Pauline epistles. But I believe it also appears in Romans. Let me find it. There we go. We have at 12:19, "Beloved, do not avenge yourselves, but rather give place to wrath. For it is written, 'Vengeance is mine, I will repay,' says the Lord." And I think there's another verse in there somewhere. Hebrews 10:38, where he's quoting from Habakkuk 2. And this is also quoted in shorter form in Romans 1:17. And even if the language is slightly different, I think that would probably be justified by saying, he probably had a different amanuensis. Tradition says that this was Timothy in Hebrews, and There goes my other New King James. Obviously, it was Tertius for Romans, with Phoebe also being described as having a hand in tradition. But obviously, the message is very much Paul's. So, I've always been one to say, you know, despite the claims you find in certain editions, for example, this NKJV and most Nelson Bibles, even King James, they don't want to say Paul wrote Hebrews. I think maybe the introduction fell out somewhere in the manuscript tradition, and it was written by Paul. And I really don't think there's any question about that matter. Jesus freak out.